Hi everybody, how are you? Hopefully everybody's having a really good time. Today, it's a great day. All right. Finally, it's using some new software here, so it's a little bit crazy. It may or may not all work out the way it should, but got a wire hanging in the way here too, I see. We don't need that laying out here, do we? So I have some really fun stuff for you today. Let me see my time. There we go. And my chat went away. I don't know where my chat box went. Sorry if I don't see you guys chatting. My chat box seemed to have went away. Oh, we'll see if it catches up. Maybe it's just my internet speed. I don't know. All right, so I have some really fun stuff to show you today on the Celebration Set Jungle Pals, along with the matching dies that go with it, and they are super cute, super fun and easy. Let me show you what we're going to be working with. Okay. All right, so this is the Jungle Pals stamp set, and then there is some matching dies for that. Now both of these are some Celebration. If you haven't seen the brochure, it's out here online if you need to see it, but there's lots of free things that you can select when you place an order of $50 or more, and you actually get one free item for each $50, so you can have extras there. So this is the suite that I'm using today, that I'm going to show you how to make some three really super cute cards. This will be nice and fun, right? But again, these are the free items. And of course, we have our all new mini catalog that started last month. If you haven't gotten one of your copies yet, I mail them out to all of my customers. So if you didn't get one, you let me know and I'll get a new one sent out to you in the mail. All right. So this set has 5 images. We're going to be using 3 of them today. And of course, the dies have 15 items. So not only do you get to cut out each of the little animals, but there's some other fun pieces in here too that we'll be using. All right, let's get started. First card, let's see. I think I have my cards mixed up over here. Oh, what did I do here? I think I mixed up some of my cards here. So I need this and all of this here. All right, so this is Lemon Lime Twist cardstock that you can score it at 4 1/4 or fold it in half and use a bone folder to get a nice crisp edge there. So that's my card base. It's half of a sheet of 8.5 by 11. And then on top of that, I'm going to add a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock. Okay. And then on top of that, I'm going to add some basic white cardstock that I've already pre-embossed with one of the folders from the Basics embossing folders. Now you get 3 folders this one, and I'm going to use this one with this nice little hash pattern to it. I'll be using this on actually all the cards today. This has probably become one of my most favorites embossing folders because you just get this very subtle background image going on here. All right, perfect. And then I have a couple of the leaf dies that we did. And then what I did, of course, you'd think I would have some scrap paper here somewhere. Oh, I have a piece of paper towel, that'll work. I just don't want to get ink all over my stuff. And I'm going to use some Granny Apple Green ink and a blending brush. And I just want to get like a little bit of highlighting on these, just to give it a little bit of a high-low. I used lemon lime twist cardstock, but I just wanted to give it a little bit more, depth to it, I guess. Give you a little more variation and variegated colors here. All right, so those are the 2 little leaf elements. Good thing I had paper towel laying around, right? And this I'm going to use some liquid glue on this because these are kind of small pieces. And let's see, I'm going to do this one here. Just get a little liquid glue here. A little goes a long way on this glue, so be sparing. I have the tip actually just kind of like touching the leaves already, or the vine there. And I'm gonna just kind of put that right, I think I'm gonna go up a little bit more here, like that. And then the second one, same thing. I'm just putting the tip kind of like right against the paper so that I don't really get like a bead. I just get this little kind of little smear on here. It's not like I'm using a lot because you don't need a lot. And this one, I'm going to have it actually go down a little bit further. Okay. Find my paper snips. Yeah, that's easier said than done. Who else loses their paper snips like every 5 minutes? Guess I do. Well, we'll use these ones. That's okay up at the top there, I think. Now I want to trim that a little bit. Trim that off and then trim this off here. There we go. Paper snips would have been easier for sure. Okay, so next I'm going to grab some scrap white paper and my Memento ink and my little sloths here, my little jungle guys here. And I need 2 of them. Now, of course, you may know, but I'm using Memento ink because I'm going to be using some Stampin' Blends. And I'm just using the Smoky Slate, both the light and the dark Smoky Slate. We're going to get just some little bits in here. Give them a little bit of an outline here. The dark, you don't need as much of. Okay. Give it some here and here. And then the light, I'm going to start with a small little pointed end so I can get around his face here without going over around everything. There we go. And then I'll switch to the brush end. Actually, I'm going to use the pointy end on the whole thing. This is a small image. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of work out that that dark. You know, I have this one seems like it's getting to be a little dry. I think I have a brand new set of these. These are colors I use a lot. So I actually have a replacement set of those. Need the, oh no, that's gray granite. Maybe I didn't buy a set yet. But I think my brush end is starting to get dried out here a little bit. But I'm just going to kind of like go around in a circular pattern, and that will help blend that dark into the light, and you won't end up with that funny line there. I think I just ordered a new set of these, but of course, you know, I have to wait for my orders just like you guys do. Give it a little bit of color here. Pull some of that dark back in. It gives a nice shading. So it kind of re-wets the ink, and you end up with some nicer shading on your images. Okay, so here's one almost done. And since I have the light already out, get some of that dark up into his cheeks here. I'll go around his eyes here on the second one. I don't know about you, but I really do enjoy using the blends. Let's see if I can just get some color on here. Sometimes I use light first, sometimes I use the dark first, and clearly we have a little bit of everything here. All right, so I'm going to do that, get a little more moisture. Sometimes if you do the light first, you get a little more moisture right on your paper right away. And then the dark will blend in a little bit faster. It also starts to just kind of pull in a little quicker too. I'm gonna go a little around his face here. Go back to my light and get that blended in. And what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the stark line in my coloring. So see, I've got like some pretty stark lines there. Well, as I circle these out, this will kind of blend into, and then you'll have this even like shading that goes from darker to lighter instead of just this huge line, this very distinct line. And then you can get up his paws here. I don't live in an area that these are native to where I'm at. I'm in the United States, so we don't get to see these cute little guys unless we go to the zoo. But I wish I knew of any, I don't know of anybody that's actually ever seen one in the wild, but I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that have. I think they're just kind of a fun little animal to look at too. All right, so we got those two guys colored. Let me get my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine out, and I need the die. So this die set's got like all the animals, it's got leaves. There's my little guy. It's got a little tree branch. So it has lots of extra little jungle-y type elements for you to play with here. All right, let's get, need to get these two cut out. I'm using the mini Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. And this one, if you kind of stagger the way you start your plates, don't have them be 100% stacked on top of each other. Because this machine's so tight, tiny, it's very tight. There's not a lot of flex in the roller in the middle. My die just moved. I just watched it move as I pushed on that top plate. But because the machine is so narrow, it really is the roller. It's a roller that's in the middle here, and it doesn't have any flexing happening whatsoever. So sometimes if you try to start your plates where they're all evenly lined up on the edge, it'll like be a little bit more difficult to get it into the machine, especially once your plates start warping. But if you keep flipping them around, top and bottom, flipping the top with the bottom and flipping them this way and this way too, then you'll find that your plates will stay a little flatter. It doesn't hurt that they're bowed. It's plastic that's meant to stretch. And it's definitely stretching because we're putting some pressure on it. All right, set that out of the way. Put my die where it belongs. All right. So we have our cute little guys here. And then here's my greeting. I'm gonna use, gee, where's my greetings at? Here we go, perennial postage is what I used. All right, because I just, this set didn't have greetings, but this is a great greeting set. So this is You Mean the World to Me, and I'm using some Granny Apple Green ink, and this is a deckled cut circled, so I used the deckled circle dies to cut that. I didn't think you guys needed to watch me cut all of these individual things. Get that cleaned off. All right, and put that away before I wear it. And then here's the next size up deckled circle that I'm going to layer this onto. These don't exactly match up identical, but they're kind of close in shape. Okay, and that I want to put on with some dimensionals. I always call these my bargain wow. They are inexpensive and they always add a huge wow impact to your cards because you end up with a little bit of depth coming in and out of here. And everybody always wonders, how do you get these cards that have all this, you know, depth to them? And they smash down when you mail them. So it's not like you need to have a whole bunch of extra postage. You don't have to have any extra postage because they're pretty thin. All right, so we're gonna get this little guy hanging. We'll get him hanging right here. And this little guy we'll get him hanging right here. Okay, coming together. Then I'm going to grab some of this lemon lime twist ribbon. This comes in a 2-pack with some pink ribbon too, green and pink. What great colors to go together, right? Make a cute little bow here. And I know you guys have seen me make these bows a million times. And I always tell you, if you would prefer to have a knot instead of a bow, then, you know, just make knots. You still end up with a little textile with the ribbon on there. And a glue dot. And I'm going to kind of roll this glue dot a little bit smaller because this is a pretty narrow ribbon. And then I always put my ribbon onto the glue dot and pull it up because it seems to be easier way to actually get the glue dot onto the ribbon. And I'm just going to add that to the bottom. And you mean the world to me. How cute is that one, right? All right, card number 2. This one I'm going to use, what did I do here? I think I have my parts and pieces mixed up all the way around on my cards here. That's okay. All right, so this is Mossy Meadow cardstock, and that's what I'm going to use for my base on this one. And again, it's a half a sheet, and I'm going to you can score it at 4 1/4, or fold it in half and use your bone folder. I still would use your bone folder even if you score it because it gives you a much crisper little edge there. All right, and then I have some Granny Apple Green. Keeping those outdoor jungly colors together here. And then on this one, I'm using that same basic white with that same, I know it's hard to tell in the camera, but you get this little hash, like little hashes. Makes for a really nice background texture without it having, you know, it's not saying a lot, but you get that just a little bit more warmth that I think that it adds to your card when you add a little more texture to it. All right, and then I'm going to add, this is a deckled rectangle, like the deckled circles. We have rectangles too. And that I'm adding to a piece of Granny Apple Green cardstock. And I just trimmed it a little bit bigger. They do layer, so I could have done a decal on a decal, but I didn't feel like doing it this time. And this I'm going to add on with dimensionals. Like I said, a cheap wow. We don't have to break the bank here. You know, one or two stamp sets goes a long way, guys. And these layouts can be used for multiple stamp sets. So if you don't even have this one, grab something you do have. Use the same layout. You can even change up the color combinations if you want a little bit too. All right, and then I'll have some extra parts and pieces here. Get some of my trash out of the way. And for this one, I'm going to use the tiger, Tony the Tiger. Who remembers Tony the Tiger? You got to be a little bit older, but you know, those were big commercials when I was a kid for the cereal, Tony the Tiger. Get that inked up nicely. That right? Okay. Clean that one off. Okay. And for those, I'm going to use the pumpkin pie. So I'm going to start with the dark, and I'm just going to kind of add it in between here. Give them some dark here. Get some lining in here. Give them some darkness here. some on his face a little bit here. Give him some accent here, right? About some, a little bit on his tail too. And again, I'm doing the dark first, but you can certainly do the light first. It's all good. And then I'll come back with the light. Get those lines blended in nicely. So little baby circular motions really helps. And then as that ink moistens, it'll pull really easy. Sometimes that's why if I'm doing larger items, like I probably should have on this one, I probably should have done the light first, but it's all good. I'm rushing here so that you guys don't have to watch me do this for like ever. But, you know, I'm going to switch this to the narrow end so that I can get in these little areas without coloring outside the lines. You know, I wasn't very good at coloring, never have been. So if you're like me and you like to have the easy way, the blends are definitely a marker that helps you become a little bit more artistry without having to be the super professional. Get these to soften up here. Re-moisten that dark ink. And then you'll see that it kind of starts to bleed almost in between, hence the word blend. It blends together, and then you end up with the color, the two-tone colors, and it shades. It automatically shades down into each other, so you get a nicer. Get around his eyes here. Use the brush end on this a little bit. Get it a little bit moist. Give myself a little bit of a speedier start here. Not my best coloring job. Sorry, guys. Get his nose down here. Oh, I forgot this leg. There we go. It's starting to bleed in there. And then I used just a little bit of petal pink for the tip of his nose, so that wasn't quite exactly the same color. All right. And then, of course, I need to cut this out. And we have a die for that too. Let's get that one out here. And my mini machine. This works great for when you're on, traveling or at a crop. Hopefully I'll be seeing a lot of you at the crop, and make and takes are always a ton of fun at my retreats. People really enjoy them. All right, so there we go. We got this guy all cut out. Scrap, get some of that out of my way. All right, get my little guy here. Of course, he's going to end up on dimensionals, but first I'm going to add these two little leaves here. Let's get a little tape on each of those. Tape all over my table. Sure, why not? And these, I'm just going to kind of put these off to the corner here. Little color here. And then these are some of the other elements. I use mossy metal for those. And this one, let me get some mini dimensionals. This one, I'm going to put this up on dimensionals also. This card's going to have a couple of layers here. All right, get those backs off. All right, and then that we're just gonna kind of eyeball this up right about there. Okay, and then our guy here, I'm gonna put him on a dimensional, but I'm gonna give him well, that's not where I want him. Let's just put it on his head here and get one on the back side here. All right, and then I'm gonna have him kind of walking in front of the leaves here. There we go. All right, and then I'm gonna use this. Let me get a block for this one. Forgot to get a block. All right, and again, I'm going to be using Granny Apple Green. I try not to get too many colors going when I'm doing a project. Like you can tell when I do like my classes, like my Be Mine class that I just sent out. Just a couple of colors so that you don't have to have a mazillion things. You can, if you're just getting started, you know, pick your favorite colors and then build your stash out from that. Once you get used to using things, you'll know what you do and don't like. All right, so this was a thank you for your friendship. Who doesn't need to be thanked for their friendship? I think that's always wonderful to do. I need to support this guy a little bit better here, so I'm going to double stack some dimensionals and stick it kind of like underneath here from him, because he's on, these are on a dimensional and I added one, so I'm double stacking the bottom so that he has a little foot support there. And then this, I'm just gonna give us a little fancy angle here and get some mini dimensionals. Do you ever lose things that are sitting right in front of your face here? And I'm just going to put a couple towards this side, because I'm going to put this right over the top of my little tiger guy. And we're going to do thank you for your friendship. Super simple. Cute little fun card. This I think would make a really great little boy's birthday card, don't you think? Like if you had a greeting that was a happy birthday for a cute little boy, they would go nuts over that, wouldn't they? All right, and then my third card, when I show you how I made that one. Again, I'm using the same color combination, Lemon Lime Twist on the card base, which is the half a sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. And then on that, I'm going to add some Granny Apple Green. So I'm just using 3 different colors here, well, white, but Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist, and Mossy Meadow. Add that on there. And the same, I use the same embossing folder on this piece of basic white, with that little hash herringbone kind of a thing going on there. That's part of the basics. Those are not in the catalog. They're featured online only. So we have lots of additional items that are only featured online. They're available to purchase. However, you don't have to purchase them online. If you want to call me and place the order, you can certainly do it that way. You don't have to do it yourself. I can take care of it for you. But if you see the things online, there's lots of other items that are out there that are not in the catalog. So be sure to go and check out the online, they call them online exclusives. So if you're shopping Stampin' Up! Online, if you go to the online exclusives tab, then you'll be able to find them all. Okay, so this is out of the Nested Essentials dies. So I'm just using one of these dies here, some nice little just elements. This is a great little handy die set to have because it's lots of nice little elements. And again, in Granny Apple Green, 1 colored ink, and we'll stamp that right about there. Okay. And that I just am going to add onto some Granny Apple Green cardstock. Again, I could have nested the 2 sizes. Actually, I think this was the bigger size. So I just kind of cut some extra little matting behind it. And this is going to be on Dimensionals, my cheap WOW freebie. Whoever invented those things are amazing. They did a great job for giving us depth. All right, and then let's get our little guy cut. I'm going to do the alligator. So I live in Florida in the winter time, Michigan in the summertime. So when I saw this set, I thought, oh gosh, this is going to become one of them, you know, what you give all your Florida friends. Little alligators. Oh, that kind of like goobered in there, didn't it? That was weird. A little ink bubble. And for that, I'm going to use Granny Apple Green and Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to use a little bit of both of the colors here. I probably won't use the dark on that one. But I'm going to start with the Lemon Lime Twist light. Yeah, that's the light, making sure I'm getting light. And I'm just going to get some ink on this because, again, I should have started with the lights and even at the other ones because the images are a little bolder. Okay, let's get those out of there. And then I'm going to add the dark Granny Apple Green just along the top here, and a little bit here, and these little guys here. I'll give these a little bit of darkness to them. So he's got, I'm going to actually use like 3 colors. So you can use, you know, you can blend colors, lights and darks. And then this is the dark Lemon Lime Twist. I'm going to add some areas there for some other dark contrast. These will blend a little different. The Granny Apple Green is just a little bit darker than the Lemon Lime Twist. Get some shading going on here. Ooh, that was almost like, that little glob was almost like a piece of paper was stuck to my ink pad or something like that. It was kind of weird. You get the gist on the guy though. All right, so now we're going to start bleeding that out, blending that out to be a little more color into the light. And you'll see the shading kind of change there as I do that. We don't want to give them green teeth, do we? But as soon as I go over that, you'll see that that shading gets darker from using the 2 darker colors together. And you don't get like a perfect darkness. Leave a little dark spot there. Bleed that out a little bit. Okay, his little toes. He's got little baby toes. Super little baby toes here. All right, let's give this a little more shade. Perfect. All right, so now we got our variegated alligator. All right, and got to get him cut out. Pull my machine back in here and get the appropriate dye for him too. If you are enjoying my videos, feel free to comment. I always love to hear from my fans, right? Give me suggestions on things you'd like to see me do. Tell me what you enjoyed about the cards that I'm showing you. Of course, don't forget to like or subscribe. Then you'll be notified when I have other cute little things coming up. All right, get this guy coming along nicely here. All right, here's my card. Lost it. All right, so again, I have that same element that I had with the last card, and I'm gonna use a couple dimensionals on that too. I think I only need a couple though, because this is gonna kind of hang off the card a little bit. All right, and we're gonna put this down here. I'm gonna have it hang off a little bit there. So it's not exactly on this element. It's kind of got a little space behind it. And then of course my alligator, he's got to go up on dimensionals too, because you know he's about to ready to jump out at you. And we're gonna put that, I want this a little higher. I want this like right up there by my words. How many times do you peel stuff off and put it back down on a card? I do that all the time. All right, so then we're gonna get him on there and come back to some of that pretty ribbon and bows. Now, if you've watched any of my other videos, you see that when I do a bow that's like freestanding, I'm not like tying it around something, I use the bunny ears. So I make 2 bunny ears and then I tie the 2 loops together. This bunny's getting his ears tied together. And then I hold the middle and I pull one side, hold the middle, pull the other side until I get the ribbon to the right size that I want. By holding it in the middle, it helps keep your ribbon flat and give that a nice little tight. And then you don't end up with that ribbon that goes wonky one direction and can't figure out why it's not laying properly. Keeps them more flat, a little more intact there. All right, and then we'll get another dimension or a glue dot and roll that up a little bit. Get that on there. And we're going to give this as a little girly alligator. Got a little girl alligator. I know you will get through this. So if anybody's out there that's not having the best of days, feel free to PM me and I'll mail you the card. Brighten up your day with this bright green paper, right? All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I very much enjoyed showing you those cards. So if you remember what they were, we had the little sloths going, right? And Tony the tiger. God, I wish I had little tiny grandkids again. This would be such a fun card for them. And then my little girly alligator. But any of these verses, I mean, we could certainly turn these all into birthday cards for some fun people. I think this would make a great graduation card for a young girl because, you know, you could put the little bow on it. It doesn't have to be a little, you know, little boy alligator. He can be a girl alligator too, right? So all those tomboy daughters and granddaughters you guys have out there, this is a great way to give them a card that they'll thoroughly enjoy. Well, thank you for visiting me today, and you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now.